Hey guys, I'm Jazz. So it's been a while since I've made a video and I thought, you know what, let's make one. I've finished uni now, I'm all done for that, and I noticed on one of my videos, I mean I haven't uploaded for 2 years, but people still comment, I'm still getting subscribers, so I thought, you know, I'd give something back. So basically, I saw a comment on my YouTube channel that said, I don't know how you do the shading in, I think it was the Boba Fett drawing. And this has got me thinking, I don't actually know how to shade with pen, because I'm sort of learning as I go, because this is a lot more difficult, and what I found is doing with pencils and pens is so much easier than just doing pens. Whereas I think if people wanted to do it just with pens, they'd literally not think of anything else. So as you can see here, I've done a few different shades, and it's done with both pen and pencil, so I thought I'd allow you guys to see the techniques that I use to try and get a decent drawing. Now I did have the light on here, so it didn't really work. It made the pen a lot shinier than in the video than I wanted, so I thought what I'd do instead was have the light off, because it's still light out, so it should be okay. So first I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to do a bit here. I'm going to go through everything that is on this drawing. So the materials, like the paper and the pens, because what I found is different materials work better with other things. You know, the pen just doesn't work at all. The pens that I'm using right now are Winsor & Newton Pro markers. There's a little thing I picked up. I thought I wanted to do some more pen drawings, and I picked it up. It was kind of expensive, but art stuff usually is. And with the paper I use on a lot of my other drawings, it doesn't really work. It sort of bleeds into the rest of the page, which is not something you want to do when you want to do minute details. So what I've got here, I will just get the paper, is a Bristol board A3 Frisk Graphic Art Materials 20 sheets, something like that. It was quite nice. I think this one was a bit more expensive as well. It was just a different brand of paper that I wanted to use. So I tried pen with it. This was just like an experiment, because I watched the Spiderman Into the Spider-Verse again the other day, and I thought, you know what, it's quite a cool Spider-Man to draw, so I just did it here. So what I'm going to show you is how I got the blends, how I got the shading with this character. So as you can see, I've got the red here. It's a different colour to this red, because what I've done is I've got many different pens. So the red I'm using right now, if I can find it anywhere on my desk, there we go, is this red here, and I'll show you on this paper. It's completely different to what you see here. Now this is because what I've done is I have a paint pen, a white paint pen, and because this was, I basically just did it on the whim. I didn't test them out too much. I mean, you can see I've got all the white here and put a few little shades on, but I like to do experiments while I'm doing it, which is probably a bit more risky than it needs to be. But as you can see, it's a paint pen. If it actually works, it might have dried out by the time I've done this. Right, so the white is back. But so for very light shades, I've just left the white over. So I haven't gone over it with pen, I've just left it white like that, such as these parts here. You can see they also go over the black parts, but you want to try and get it as bright as possible, because I prefer, I've done a lot of pencil, but I usually prefer doing pen because it just stands out more. Which is pretty obvious, you know. When you're doing comic book characters, they're a lot more bold when you draw them. You know, you want them to stand out, because otherwise they just, if you're going to put this on your wall or something, you want it to be powerful in a way, you know. It's not really powerful, but it just stands out a bit better. The shade, if it's darker in some areas and lighter in others compared to pencil, then it's a lot easier to see the detail. Now the proportions and stuff of this are not great. I mean, I told you it started out as a sketch. Well, if I haven't told you now, you know. It started out as a sketch, and then I just grew from there, so the proportions are a bit off, but you know, it's fine. It's just a little drawing that I've done. So what I can show you here is, this is where it's just white. So there's red underneath this with a bit of shading with pencil. The pencils I'm using are Faber-Castell pencils, just standard pencils, and also for a lot darker shades I have the 2Bs, 4Bs, 6Bs and 8Bs Mars Lumograph Black. So they're a lot darker. As you can see, I use this one a lot more than I use the other one. So I use this is the paint pen that I was showing you. The Unipost I don't know how to pronounce any of this stuff, but I just bought them on Amazon. They're pretty cheap, I think, you know. But paint pens are my favourite, because even though they are quite difficult to get detail with because they're quite fat tipped, as you can see. But they stand out the most because they are literally paint. So let me just go over this bit. So this bit is white, but then when you go over it with red, just gives it a bit of a different shade. Now there's a bit here I can just take off with something. Hopefully it'll come off. It won't come off. It's not going to come off. I'm going to use the grey. Where are my grey? Now, the problem with these pens is I found there's not many shades. There are not many shades at all. I'll show you the pack here. So this is the pack. It's got green, blues, yellows, reds, and then it's got like a few other shades there, but it's not exactly great, so I thought, you know, I'd have to make do with some because the picture's not like this completely, at least. It's a lot brighter. The reds are a bit different colour, but you know, when you're drawing, it's just an experiment. You're just having fun with it. So the grey here was actually quite difficult to do because in the picture it's black, white, and grey with a lot of detail. I've sort of left out the detail. There's meant to be like little, I think, hexagons here. You know, where the Spider-Man suit, he's got very tiny pieces of detail. When my other Spider-Man, I did those, but in this I just wanted to do a shade. So what I've done is I've actually had the black, so this was all black. Then I went over it with the paint pen, just went over the top of it. Then I shaded it with the black, went over the top. Then I went over it with the grey. I think it was either this or this light blue, which is kind of grey, which, you know, when it's put together, it blends quite well into a decent grey. So I'll probably go over these again with another colour, you know, just some touching up, but this was just to get the idea across to you of how we actually do it. So we're going to do this part here. So there's a little bit of shading up here. I'm actually not going to use the 8B, it's a bit too thick. I'm going to use the 2B up here. So I'm just going to shade it a little bit. Now, you don't need to get it perfect straight away because you can just you can go over the top of it with a red, because it's this part of the shoulder is going to be red, and then you can always reshade it. So you don't want to go too dark straight away, because too dark you can't come back from unless you go over it with white and then go over it with black again, but then that could ruin the page, because in some parts the paper's, I mean, it's not designed to have like 5 different layers on top of it necessarily, so you don't want to just be going too crazy. So if it's not dark enough right now, that's fine. It does not matter at all, because you can just go over it again. So actually, I'm gonna lightly shade these parts because they're a bit darker than the other parts. So yeah, I want to say thanks. I don't know if I've done a thank you video on over 100 subs, but now I'm on like 150, and I haven't uploaded in so long. So I thought I needed to do something, you know. I have wanted to, it's just my camera has been, hopefully it's doing okay right now, but my camera is pretty bad. I think I dropped it, or I had it in my suitcase when I was going to university, and it just died. Like the lens, yeah, the way it focuses and the way it zooms in is it has a, what's it called? No, I want to go with black again. It has a focus where you twist the cap, you twist the lens, and it goes in and out, which I'm guessing most cameras have something similar, but there's no other way of actually zooming in, zooming out, I don't think. I mean, I looked it up and there's not many of these cameras. It wasn't exactly a ridiculously expensive camera. Because, you know, I'm not exactly a wealthy man. But yeah, I made do, and when I was at uni, it was just difficult to do. I had a lot of things to deal with, you know, different house. I had, you know, uni to do, obviously. As you do at uni, usually you do uni work at uni. I mean, that's just something that happens. I don't know why. I mean, I thought I was just there to do drinking, which I did most of the time. But apparently you need to do some sprinkles of work here and now. Here and then. Here and now, here and then. I don't know. One of the two sayings. Many sayings. So we're just going to go over this red. This part is going to be pink. It's a lot pinker than what it is in the picture, and many of my drawings will be from a pre-existing picture. I can't do it myself. I can't design a drawing myself. Maybe I can do an inflection, but they never look the same anyway, so you know, copyright is fine. Not going to be there. So we're going to go over this bit. Is it that pink? So obviously you just test to see the colour. I think it's that one. I mean, if not, it honestly doesn't matter. Just like I said, this is just a little experiment thing. I give most of my drawings away anyway because people just like having them. But the ones that take ages, I have sold a couple. But I usually feel bad because I don't like these that much. And sometimes when you've spent so long on them, you want to keep them, but then I kind of had to sell them. You know, it was a decent amount of money, so I needed to take it just to, you know, tide over all those big amounts of money that I owed to the peoples. Sounds like I'm in financial debt. No, it was just, you know, rent and food and things like that. So you may see that this doesn't really blend. Like, it's very pink, very black, very red. So it sort of clashes. It doesn't blend well. Well, you can easily fix that. You could just blend it in with the black, so it looks like it just seamlessly transitions into the red, you know. And actually, this bit is meant to be a bit more pink, so you can go over it. Now, I wouldn't recommend going over it when it's still wet, but it's not that. Like I said, it's not a big deal. You just need to, this is just to get the technique. You just want to try. I know you might be working on it for ages, you want it to look amazing, but it's not going to happen every time. I mean, you know, you're unlikely to be an expert straight away. I mean, I'm no expert at all. I don't know why I'm giving talks on how to do it. I just thought some people might want to know what's going on. See, I'm going over this white. This is way too white for what I want. This is not what I want at all. This is like, it just, how does that go at all? But it's fine. These paint pens are great for this sort of thing. You just go over it like that. Paint pens can be a bit annoying. Like I said, they're quite a thick end, so you need to be kind of careful sometimes. You need to like take off the excess there, and then you just wait a bit, and then you'll go over it. So actually, I'm going to go over the red. So some of these bits need to be a lot lighter, like this. Like that, and a bit lighter up here. Because I thought, in my other videos, I just do it. I basically do a, I don't know, a 40-hour drawing, and I condense it down into a little drawing, which people seem to enjoy. But I thought maybe if you guys could do it yourselves, you know, you're like, I want to try and do that. I asked my girlfriend and stuff if she wants to do drawings, but she never really does. She's like, I can't do it. Well, maybe that's just because you're not confident in your ability. I mean, people can always try. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly good, so, you know, anyone can do it. But obviously, it's not always so easy, and it takes a lot of time. This is one of the problems why I've not been doing so many videos as well. I get distracted too easy. I have too short an attention span. I mean, I like drawing sometimes, but, you know, getting all the stuff for it, that is the worst. Like, the amount of money I've spent on art, which shows, you know, it's just good because it shows dedication to it. But when you don't necessarily get anything out of it, apart from the drawing, like, obviously you get the drawing out, which looks cool, then you're like, I spent so long on that, and I spent so much money on it, and if you're disappointed with it, which a lot of the time I am, like, I want it to be a lot better than they end up being, it does weigh on you a little bit. So, right, that's going to be in part 1. I mean, as you can see, it's just a little video. I just wanted to show you. I'm not going to show you the entire process of what I do. This is basically it. so I'm not gonna go over the entire, like, you know, I'm gonna do his leg and do his arm now, in all short parts. I maybe do 2 or 3 parts of these, show you the ropes of how to do it. I'll show you how to do the grey maybe, but I don't think there's many more black parts of my